Hi guys and welcome back to the channel Held Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe and also click that notification bell if you're enjoying what you're seeing and want to see more. Coming up, Saint Star wants more competition and more credit for his side. Scrums are on the way back in 2022 and 2 other rule changes. And England's double-header showpiece in France gets national coverage. Let's begin with the England versus France in Perpignan International on Saturday week, as England's test match with the French team will be played without scrums. The International Rugby League has ruled. Scrums were scrapped when Super League was restarted in August 2020 in order to reduce the number of close contacts during the match at the height of the coronavirus pandemic. They remained absent for the 2021 season and which began in March, and the ruling was extended by the Rugby Football League to matches in the Championship and League One. It intends to bring scrums back at the end of the year, particularly in time for the 2021 World Cup, and NRL still using scrums, but it was decided in August to continue without them in the English domestic competition due to lingering safety concerns. Following a request from the RFL and the Fédération France de Rugby Trente, the IRL decided on Tuesday to play without scrums for the match in Perpignan. The test match is played on October the 23rd, which was arranged due to the postponement of the Rugby League World Cup. And that's where we're at with the rules, as they're going to be Super League rules, as 90% of the players that were involved will be governed by the same rules that they played with all season. But in another good bit of news, England's men's and women's side will both feature on BBC on Saturday the 23rd of October with live coverage of the international double-header against France in Perpignan. The Women's International will be shown on BBC with a midday kickoff, while the men's team will be covered on 2:30 PM on the Saturday itself. The Women's International is another breakthrough for the Women's Rugby League, as it will be the first England international for the women on terrestrial TV following BBC Two's live network coverage of the Women's Challenge Cup earlier this year. The matches were arranged due to the postponement of the World Cup until 2022, and it will be the first test in France for England's men since their 40-6 win in Avignon back in 2014. England's women have played 10 tests against France since 2009, the most recent being a 54-4 win in Carcassonne during the 2018 season. With this information, Simon Johnson, the RFL chairman, said, "We are delighted the BBC will be showing both our England men's and women's team in their international fixture in France this autumn. These games are now important preparation for both teams as they prepare for home World Cups in 2022, with the Rugby League on a high in France after recent on-field success for both Gatland Dragons and Toulouse Olympique. The timing is ideal. For the Women's Rugby League in 2021, has been a year of remarkable progress, especially considering the loss of 2020 season because of the pandemic and the postponement of the Rugby League World Cup. We have already seen England play their first home international since 2013, and after the record attendance at Emerald Headingley on Sunday's Betfred Women's Super League Grand Final, this will be another great platform for our leading women to shine. There are more options for international games being played, as the wheelchair teams against France will be played in November over in France as well. the home test, my apologies, and announcements with regards to how they are being shown will be announced shortly, according to reports from the RFL. As we've seen in the previous video, the RFL had outlawed scrums while the pandemic was going on, and now the RFL board has approved 3 changes to the laws to apply for 2022 season, which were recommended by a September meeting of the Laws Committee. The return of scrums, the revision of the ball steal rule to the 2020 position, and the requirement for injured players to be removed from the field of play for treatment. On scrums, they have said the committee recommend that scrums should return in 2022 in the expectation that vaccine rates across the professional game will be significantly higher to significantly reduce the risk of close contacts causing disruption to the fixture list. A rate of 85% across the professional game by December 2021. December the 31st, 2021. Scrums were suspended in the domestic competition of Rugby League as an emergency law when the sport returned in summer of 2020, following the initial COVID-enforced lockdown. After the Laws Committee received advice that would lead to numerous players being required to isolate as close contacts of positive cases. The Laws Committee judged that remained the case when they reconsidered the situation before the 2021 season, while confirming the desire for scrums to return as soon as safely possible, but the availability and efficiency of vaccines have sustainably changed that situation, with fully vaccinated players no longer required to isolate as close contacts and the risk of transmission and severity of illness being reduced for those who are vaccinated. The Laws Committee heard evidence the vaccination rates are already approaching 85% threshold that has been judged to be reasonable, and that at a number of clubs the rates are already excess of 90%. Clubs have been urged to ensure their players to ensure full vaccination by the end of 2021. In some cases, for example, new overseas players, younger players and those with recent COVID infections, a statement of intent would be accepted. Scrums should also return in all community game settings. The Laws Committee will continue to monitor the situation, with the ability to suspend scrums if their required vaccination rate is not achieved, or if community prevalence and/or COVID cases in the sport increase. We will come to those who have been on the board for these laws to come into place back in 2022 now, a little later on. But I agree that scrum should come back. It is part of a game and it's part of the identity of rugby league, and it slows down the game just a little bit, which helps players stay a bit more healthier, as it's not sustainable to have 73 minutes of an 80-minute game non-stop, which it has been, possibly higher in some cases, as it's been an end-to-end game, which is great and all, and the spectacle is good, but sometimes you have to do a duty of care for players, and it is an on-field breather for hitting the tactical and the possession game, and it helps reward the offensive players when they get that territory kick to get possession and more pressure and building up pressure. It's a way that the sport encourages attacking and tougher tackling. Now the next one that we're going to look at is the ball steal rule, as that has caused a bit of derision on both sides of the planet, both hemispheres, as the rule changed to sort of encourage more ball stealing, but it had the adverse effect when players didn't realise that there was more than one player in the tackle. Anyway, just to give you an outsider perspective, a ball steal in rugby league has been traditionally a one-on-one strip. No one else touching the ball carrier apart from one tackler who's going to try and rip the ball out of the attacking player's hands before he can get his arm to the ground. And then the defending team, the one who wins the ball, sets their team up on the attack. Simple, right? One-on-one. If you can rip the ball off the attacking player and keep hold of it, your team gets the ball back. Simple. But the rule changed at the beginning of 2021, where if there are multiple people in the tackle, and one player is going for a one-on-one strip, the rest of the players can drop off the tackle, and if it strips after no one else is touching, then they keep the ball. But no one can see 100% that it is one-on-one after multiple people are in the tackle, so it made it a bit more confusing. So the RFL have decided to implement the rule change back to what it was before. At the start of the 2021 season, a new ball steal law was introduced, bringing domestic laws in line with the NRL and the international game, whereby the ball could be legally stripped from the attacking player by a single defender, even if the other defenders have previously been involved in the tackle. However, stakeholders felt that this law led to negative play, providing a negative look to the game, and was very difficult to officiate. Therefore, the Laws Committee recommend to the board for approval that from the start of the 2022 season, the ball steal law reverts to its previous interpretation, where a ball can only be stripped from the attacking player in a one-on-one tackle. Which is just sensible at the end of the day. I've not seen many gang tackle one-on-one strips on the games, and possibly because they weren't done on live TV. No video referee, etc, etc. So, while the law was supposedly to help speed up play the balls, or possibly stop end of game time wasting, it had a different effect where no one did it really in the English game, in the European game. So yeah, going back to the previous version, a good idea, and I think NRL will revert to that as well once they see the plus sides of the rule re-implementation from before. And finally, there is the injured player rule, where it has been become increasingly noticeable that at key times in the game, players are being treated on the field for injury, and the referee has no option but to stop the game. This has resulted in complaints from coaches and the increased length of games, and the frustration from the media and the fans that the flow of the game is being disrupted. I've noticed that a few times. You said that a few players have been milking the rule, which is what they can do, as it's in the rules. It has to stop. The board has therefore accepted a Laws Committee recommendation to adopt the NRL policy relating to injury stoppages. This will ensure the effective treatment of players remains a priority without encouraging gamesmanship while retaining an entertaining spectacle. Basically, they've said, we're going back to where you should have to go off the field for the treatment if you're really that injured. Why not? Why not? It's keeping the game alive, it's keeping it fast flowing, and it's giving a better duty of care, to be fair, in my opinion, to those that are playing the game. If we're not looking after the players and doing it properly, i.e. the doctor and everything off the pitch, not a problem. And it might reduce the amount of people staying on the pitch for HIA assessment. So as I mentioned, we were going to have a look at to see who was involved in these decisions and the panel, and this is who they are. We have David Rotherham, RFL Chief On-Field Officer, who was chair of the committee. Gavin Wild, RFL Compliance Manager, who's secretary. Ken Davey, Executive Chair, Acting, Super League Europe. Robert Hicks, RFL Head of Governance and full-time match official. Steve Ganson, Head of Match Officials. Paul Sculthorpe, England Performance Unit. Carl Hall, League One Clubs Representative. Paul Harrison, Championship Clubs Representative. And Chris Rodlinski, Super League Europe Clubs Representative. Then they had input from the media with Dave Woods. Dr. Gemma Phillips, who's a clinical advisory group head. Laura Fairbank, RFL Head Medical and Integrity Unit spokesperson, and John Kieran, the representative of the coaches. I do hope that these are changes for the positive. One reverting back to type, that's fine by me, as long as the game is still the game. St Helens forward Morgan Knowles is hoping the Super League champions get to face the NRL Premiers Penrith Panthers in the World Club Challenge in the winter. The Saints won the Super League Grand Final for the third year in a row, thanks to a 12-10 win over the Catalan Dragons at Old Trafford. In normal circumstances, St Helens would now be turning their thoughts to the World Cup Challenge, but the COVID-19 pandemic put paid to the annual clash of the Super League and NRL champions in 2021, and the Saints face an anxious wait to see if the proposed duel with Penrith will go ahead in February. The 24-year-old Knowles played against Cleary and company when the Saints Academy toured Australia in 2013 and would love nothing more than a rematch. In only a rugby league way and fighting talk, Knowles said, "I played against Cleary and we ended up beating them. It would be good to get an opportunity to play them because we were robbed of that last year with COVID. Nothing can help that, but it's still unfair." Knowles is hoping his team's third consecutive Grand Final win will finally earn them the recognition they deserve after claiming they were disrespected and portrayed as the villains in the build-up to the Saturday showpiece. A 12-10 victory over the first-time finalist Catalan Dragon enabled them to complete the League and Cup double for the second time and match Leeds' achievement of 3 successive Grand Final victories. It's also confirmed St Helens as the most successful club of the summer era, with a 9th Super League title going back to their inaugural success in 1996, when the prize was decided under the old first past the post method. Knowles believes that his club's previous success went largely unrecognised in the build-up to the Saturday's Old Trafford showpiece, and says they were painted as the bad guys, which added extra incentive for the club. Speaking on this, he added, "There was definitely extra motivation for us because we were portrayed as the villains. Unless you were a Saints fan, everyone wanted to see Catalan win, and probably rightly so because they were the underdog, and it would be great to see another team win it, and especially a French team. What Catalans have done is amazing, and expansion is really positive for the game, and I'm definitely happy about that. Giving the Catalan Dragons the props they deserve. They're probably going to be in more grand finals. Steve McNamara has done a great job and they've recruited the right kind of players. But to be honest, I think we deserve more credit. We've been the best team for the last 3 or 4 years, although we didn't win it in 2018. But the consistency we have, the win percentage has been better than any other team in Super League. British and UK coaches like to see people fail and the underdog win, and I think it's about time we get the credit we deserve for 3 wins back to back, the Challenge Cup and the League Leaders Shield along the way. I'm really proud to be part of this team, and that's not taken away from Catalans reaching the grand final, but I think we deserve some credit as well. I'm just really proud to be part of this group, and what we have done over the last few years has been special. And that's it for another video, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe and share this video worldwide, and also tag people in to grow our fantastic game. Tell me what your thoughts are on the stories for today. Place them in the comments, because I'd love the debate. Do you think the rule changes are going to be positive? Back to the old way for the strip, and also scrums coming back in the Northern Hemisphere? And also, do you think that the World Club Challenge should come back this year? I do. More rugby league, more spectacle, and the best of the best facing each other. How do you think that game would go as well? Because I think it'll be a close one. Tough, but a close one. But for some reason, I'd back the Northern Hemisphere. Anyway, thank you again for watching. Share this video. I keep saying it. Come on guys, share. I know you like these videos, but please share them as well. In the meantime, stay safe. All the best. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.